20 points off the day's highs on the Nifty. We're holding strong at 51.25. Varun Goel from KC Securities is joining us this afternoon. Varun, afternoon to you. Thanks so much for taking the time out to join us. Since the auto sales numbers came out this morning, the market's definitively reacting to them. Mahindra and Mahindra up about 4.5%. Hero Honda's up about 2.5%. I'll start off talking to you about that sector. What's the call on Frontline Auto at this point in time?
Good afternoon, Shruti. I think the automobile companies have done very well in the last 8-9 months of this fiscal. I think the growth has continued to sustain despite all expectations that a poor monsoon is going to hurt the sales. Of course, sales in January and February were slightly higher than expectations. Primarily because of the reason was there was some advancement of sales because people were expecting price hikes due to excise duty hikes in the budget, which has already happened. So there will be some moderation based on month-on-month numbers probably in March and April. But I think looking at the overall prospects of the economy and the fact that the raw material prices are much lower as compared to what they were 2 years back, I think the outlook for the automobile space continues to be quite positive, and we are positive on the two-wheeler space and the commercial vehicle segment.
Call on the Nifty.
Well, all Nifty is trading close to its fair value. I think at around 16,000 the market is trading close to 15.5 times FY11 earnings. I think in the short term, two things that one needs to watch out for. One is, of course, the developments that happen in Europe. Of course, some concerns on Greece have tend to moderate it after the recent statements by the French president. But I think one needs to be very careful of that. The second thing is that one has to look very carefully at the inflation numbers. I think the government is assuming that the food price inflation is going to come down, and that is the only factor which is causing inflation. So one has to look at what are the kind of inflation numbers that come up in the next few weeks, and what action RBI takes in going forward.
Since Varun's brought up French President Sarkozy and what might happen on that front, let's also cut across to my colleague Sunil Savani. He's here with details on what global capital markets are looking like this afternoon. Sunil, very good afternoon to you.
Very good afternoon to you, Shruti. Just let's have a look at how European markets are trading at this point of time. Well, it's been more or less jittery. We did see that the European futures were, in fact, the FTSE futures were trading up around 30 points till they opened. Thereafter, they did go ahead and slip into the negative territory. Now have gone ahead and bounced back and is trading up by nearly 0.2% at this point of time. Of course, a few stocks that continue to remain in focus despite the flat trade in all across Europe that we are seeing continues to remain BHP Billiton. That stock's up for the second consecutive day on higher copper prices. Besides that, Petrofac PLC is another company that's actually up and buzzing in trade. It's up nearly 2.5% after its earnings have gone ahead and beaten estimates as well. So that's mainly been the picture on Europe. Remember, Asia has gone ahead and ended with a positive footing. If you look at how the US futures are really doing at this point of time, well, the S&P futures is trading more or less flat. So there is hardly any change that one can really see at this point of time. Of course, some bit of easing coming in terms of the Euro region, which is ready to rescue Greece if the government actually struggles to fund deficits. The jobless claims which went ahead and reduced is also one of the key factors that have actually given a boost to the markets. Another point really to watch out over here is that the VIX, or the volatility index, which is also the fear gauge index, is at its lowest level since May 2008, and mutual funds are burning through cash at the fastest rate in 18 years. So a bit of positivity really returning over there in terms of this mutual funds. That volatility index is something that one could really watch out for very closely as well. So those are some of those cues that are coming in from the global markets at this point of time.
Right, Sunil, thanks so much for those details. Lots of stocks that are buzzing around today. Raj TV is still up 20%. Future Capital is up in about 15%. SR Oil is a stock in news. Priyank standing by with the consolidated list of what's making these stocks stick in trade today. Good afternoon to you, Priyank.
Good afternoon. A whole bunch of stocks to actually watch out and trade today. Let me start off first with Raj Television, as you were mentioning. That stock's up by nearly 20% in trade today. The key fact when you're talking about Raj Television is you have some news flow which has come out on the back of the fact they're actually trying to venture into the Hindi GEC segment. That is basically considering revolving around the fact that they're looking at coming into a channel in the Hindi space called Raj Parivar. So that's got stock up by nearly 20%. But more important is when you talk about the volumes. Volumes have shot up by nearly 2,000% versus the 5-day average currently. You've got volumes on nearly 6.65 lakh shares on Raj Television in trade today. You can see the spike here. You can see that block that's really shot up in trade today. The other buzzing counter and trade today is Future Capital. Now, for Future Capital, stocks up by nearly 15%. Again, huge volumes coming onto Future Capital also. Talk about the volumes, 34 lakh shares traded in trade today. You got a huge block come here also. Future Capital also, you got really high volumes are actually driving the stock up by nearly 20% in trade, 15%, sorry for that. Future Capital, huge volumes driving that counter today. The other one being SR Oil. Now for SR Oil, you got the stock up by nearly 6%. The fact here is that the holding company could be listed on the London exchanges. Thus, it has its own power business, the oil business and the steel business. The holding company could go there. So this is the main fact here revolves around the fact in terms of the fundraising and the benefit that SR Oil could actually gain. Stock shot up by 6% when the news came out. You got good volumes come on to trade on SR Oil also. The key fact here is SR Oil is trying to bid for a few of 3 refineries of Shell. Again, they require some funding for that, so that's going to really be the key reason, the key fact of why the stock's really buzzing, because the funding part is going to be resolved to a certain extent. So Raj Telly is up 20%, you got Future Capital up 15% and SR Oil up 6%. A whole bunch of mid-cap stocks buzzing in trade today.
Alright, Priyank, thanks so much for joining us with that perspective. Those are stocks that are on the move this afternoon. The index, unfortunately, seems to have hit a roadblock, which is why the last couple of minutes we've been stuck at these levels of around 5,125, still 20 points off the day's high. But the hope is that we will close with a 5,100 level intact on the index. On the index, here's what Ashish Chaturmutha, AVP at Anand Rathi Securities, had to say.
I think one has to wait in Nifty for initiating a long position. In fact, I would say that one has to look for booking profits in Nifty long positions. But definitely stock specific actions would be there, and there are a lot of stocks which are showing a lot of strength. So I think that even if Nifty doesn't move by almost 50-70 points, then also stocks would see a very good action. So in that space, I think Suzlon or SR Oil or MRPL or mid-cap counters where I think a lot of action would be there. So one has to focus from index to mid-cap stocks. Whereas IFCI, I think this counter is seeing a consolidation and around above 54-55. There is a very good breakout level. So above 55, I think the next target would be 60 to 62 levels, and on downside, I think 53 would be a very strong support for the fund.
Varun, what thoughts on the cement sector? We've got an Ambuja up by about 5%. It's just perked up. ACC is up by 2.5%. Overweight, underweight, or neutral?
Rahul, I would be underweight on the whole cement space at this point of time. If you look at the Q3 results, there was a sharper than expected decrease in realization of most of the cement companies. I think going forward we are going to see a hike in coal prices, and also there is a 5 to 10 rupees hike in cement prices in the month of January, and I don't think there will be further rise from these levels. We have around 50 million tons of new capacity coming up. So I think in the short term there could be pressure on cement prices and the stocks might continue to underperform.
Varun, beyond cements, what you're making of the commodity space? For example, if you look at some of the mining plays, leaving aside an NMDC, just look at a Gujarat NRE or a Sesago in the context of the news flow we saw on coking coal prices last week. What would your call be?
Shruti, as far as the whole commodity space is concerned, I think since last year, the kind of price increases that we have seen across the whole commodity complex, it is almost impossible to explain that purely on basis of supply-demand scenario. If you look at the developed part of the world, the demand continues to be very, very weak. We are already seeing a lot of problems coming out of Europe. The demand in North America, of course, has not really caught up. And it's only the Asian economies like China and India which are having some kind of resilience in commodity demand. But that is not enough to justify the kind of price that we are seeing in crude oil or various industrial commodities. So I think one needs to be very, very careful as far as the whole commodity complex is concerned.
Do you like anything in the media and entertainment space, Varun? You had a huge block deal on Jagran Prakashan of 7% today. You've got a DQ Entertainment IPO that's open currently. HT Media subsidiary has filed for an IPO, so that stock's a bit up and about. Anything that you like in this space?
I think around collectively positive in the media space. If one were to look at the whole media space, there is a very sharp increase that is expected to come in the advertising revenue for the space as a whole. I think if you take a rule of thumb, the advertising revenue should increase by roughly 2 times the real GDP growth in the economy. So I think most of the media companies are going to witness at least 15% growth in advertising revenues in the months to come. I think amongst the various spaces, I think I like the print media the most. The newsprint prices are far below the levels that they reached in 2008. So that is definitely a cushion on the cost side. Now, as far as the advertising revenues are concerned, I think we have seen a very big segment emerge in the form of ads by educational institutions and colleges just spread across different parts of the country, and there's a lot of regional ads that the companies have started getting, and thereby reducing their dependence on big FMCG companies and soft drink players. So I think I would be quite positive on the print media space as a whole.
All right, Varun, we'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for joining us. Varun Goel from KC Securities joining us with his take on the markets at these points of time. Markets that seem to have paused